So,
what's your name?
I'm Sandra.
Sandra. Lovely to meet you.
It's not just for ice breaking, it's just, I'm really serious.
Thank
you.
you.
Are number one. So,
wow, it's fantastic. You get double the time.
thank you. That was my on purpose. Yeah.
Very good.
My intention.
Well done.
No, I think that's the more modest way to show your affection. And I think you have other women in your life which show it more, well, dangerously, let's put it that way.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
Usually it makes me laugh. I've been on stage. I remember being on stage at one point and some woman ran down the front of the stage and took her top off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was kind of ad-libbing with the crowd, so it wasn't like I was in the middle of the performance. It happened, I don't want to give, probably you can't repeat too many details, but there was an orchestra pit, so I started laughing, so the orchestra looked up, and I'll never forget the look on their faces because she had really large breasts, and I think that was like, whoa! It was very interesting. But it just usually makes me laugh.
That's very
nice. That's the way I handle it, yeah.
So let's talk about the movie. You are gorgeous again in that movie.
Thank you.
How did you prepare for that? I mean, you are always in a very good shape, we all know that, but how did you prepare? It really seems professional as a boxer.
Thank you. Well, I was actually doing boxing training anyway. It's one of my preferred ways to stay in shape. I like the sort of dance element to it, flexibility, strength, and you got to use your mind, and it's just a great workout. So I trained boxing anyway, and then Sugar Ray Leonard came on board, and he was advising me, and he looked at me and says, "You got to look like a boxer, and everyone knows I'm involved. Don't make me look bad." You know, it was important. So I had the pressure there.
And you have been seriously hit, I read, by him.
Well, it's interesting. They had Sugar Ray was there. They had a behind-the-scenes camera filming, and he was just sort of playing me. As soon as the camera came on, he started to hit me in the stomach, and I tell you, the camera was on, and he turned back into the champ. Yeah. I was like, oh, that one really hurt.
Why do you think boxing is that important or so fascinating for so many people as a sport?
Well, I can speak for myself. I find it. My father was a boxer, so I've always been interested in it. There's something primal about it. It's the human version of who's the strongest on the planet. It's a bit like the 100 meters running. Who's the fastest on the planet? It's two people in a confined space, and the courage it takes to get in there and to fight, I think we all can easily get just involved in it. You know, you get involved in the drama. We also know about their history, their background, the lead up. It's like the greatest drama staged in sport. It's just two people. They have nothing but boxing gloves, and one's going to end up on the mat. It's just very elemental, and it has been around in some way, shape or form in every culture for all time. So I think that's why it'll always stick around.
Besides the boxing, the movie has a wonderful plot when it comes to the father-son relationship. You are a father yourself. How did your fatherhood influence your being that role?
I found the movie really touching when I read it. I was moved by the story of the father and son. I was also moved by the robots, somehow because of the father and son, and they really are separate at the beginning. They're not together, they don't like each other in a way, but they have this common bond through the robots, so you find yourself really rooting for these robots. And there's a line, I don't know, I found myself as an actor, I had to keep suppressing my emotion because my own emotions, Hugh Jackman's emotions, were very close to the surface. And there's a line in the movie where I say to the kid, and I'm frustrated with him, and I'm like, look, I'm doing everything I can, what do you want from me, you know? And he says, I just want you to fight for me. That's all I've ever wanted. And every time I hear that, I'm like, oh, it gets me. Because I don't think there could be anything worse to hear as a parent than that. If your kid really felt you're not there for them.
Yeah,
you know?
That was really touching. So how important are emotions in your personal life for you? Are you an emotional person?
It's interesting. If I wasn't an actor, I'm quite an emotional person, but if I wasn't an actor, I think it would be less accessible to me. My father, the first time I ever saw my father cry was watching E.T., the movie. He's very English, doesn't talk about his feelings a lot, quiet. Now, however, he's like every dinner we have, he's got a tear in his eye. It's like it's all coming out. So I fear if it, and I'm married to a woman who demands complete honesty, and she's just anything she thinks comes out. So she'll ask anything. There's no hiding. There's no going into my man cave and just keeping my emotions down. They all come out.
This is very, very sexy to be emotional as well as a man. How does your wife cope with having such a sexy man?
Well,
she must be really cool, isn't she?
She is very cool and much sexier than me, let me tell you. But she is, I think, she would say, well, who else would I choose? You know, of course. But she keeps me down to earth. When I was named on that magazine, Sexiest Man Alive, that same day she said, wow, that's great, now take the garbage out, sexy boy. You know, it was very clear that wasn't going to get me far at home, you know.
What about your boy? I read that sometimes he's embarrassed by his father?
All the time. He's a very private, quiet kid. He hates the paparazzi. He doesn't particularly, he asked me several times to give up acting. He said, I don't like people knowing you. I just want you as my dad. I don't like people coming up asking for autographs. However, I did see him recently go up to a girl and say, you know, my dad is Wolverine. So he knows when it works for him. He'll probably become happier in the next few years, I think.
Now you have your own Twitter account. You
Yes.
have gone to Facebook and all these media. At the beginning you said, no, I won't go there. It's not.
Yeah, I'm like
for
a
me.
commitment
Networks.
phobic
Exactly.
with these things. I'm worried that once you dive in, you can't get out, you know? I'm all nervous about it. I find, probably like yourself, emails dominate so much more of my day, and I'm like, what happened to that hour and a half that what did I used to do, you know? Could I live without it, you know? So it's a little the same with Twitter. I love being able to communicate easily, but I'm always nervous about feeling tied in.
Mm. But now you're dealing it all by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
frightening.
Cool. I'm looking forward to meeting you there.
Yeah,
so would you be so nice and say hello to our viewers from Leute heute?
Leute heute.
Which means people today.
Guten Tag, Leute heute. I love saying that. Guten Tag, Leute heute. I hope you guys enjoyed the movie Real Steel. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now do this for me. Ta-da! I don't ask women that every day, just so you know.